Hey guys, back again, video number 19 of this 200 word series, video series. It's called How to Succeed with 200 Words, and word number 19 is the word believable. I love this word. If you've been following along, word 18 was believe, okay, singular. But in this video, I want to talk about what it really means to be believable within the context of you being a business person, entrepreneur, someone who, even if you're not an entrepreneur, I didn't clarify enough. Guys, these videos for anyone who's striving for excellence in their lives. So you can be a baseball player, football player, any kind of athlete, actor, writer. You can be someone that works as an assistant to someone else, anyone that's in the school system, any person that has a true desire to succeed. You can learn from these principles, right? I often say entrepreneurs because that's the biggest part of my audience currently, but I'm sure within a year or two, it's going to be a lot more people than that because things are growing at a rapid rate, and I don't want to exclude anyone. But these principles, anyone can take them, these 200 words in our vocabulary, in the English language. You can take these words and apply them to your situation, and you can become successful. Okay, I got 3 minutes to go over the word believable. Let's get into it. Let's first of all start with a definition, as I always do. But before I give the definition, let me just say this about this word. Within the context, I'm going to be talking about how you as a person can become believable, okay? Because people have to see something on you to believe in you. You have to be believable. You have to sell them, so to speak, on the real you and what you're able to do. Definition: believable. Of an account or I said that wrong. Let me start over again. I said that right. I was just moving too fast. Of an account or the person relating it, able to be believed, credible. Of an account or the person relating it, able to be believed or credible. So in other words, they're saying if you're delivering something to someone else, saying something, speaking something, or an action, they have to be able to believe you by the demonstration that you give, whether you speak it or you do something. Here's the context in the sentence. She felt that Don's story was not quite believable. So someone named Don was telling, Asia a story, and Asia wasn't falling for it. It wasn't believable. She didn't believe the person. Maybe it was the character, or she didn't believe anything coming from this person's mouth, or it was, she just didn't tell the story good enough, right? She might have thought she was lying, whatever, right? Definition number 2, of a fictional character or situation, convincing or realistic. Of a fictional character or situation, convincing or realistic. So fiction, meaning non-true, right? When you hear nonfiction, that's really sometimes an autobiography or a true story that's written in a book. But when you hear the word fiction, a fictional character is someone that they made up, right? So basically what they're saying in this context, that someone reads a book and it's a fictional book, but the character in the book sounds real. They make the book believable. You come away from that book saying, man, this is a good book because I believe every word of it, right? You ever hear stories like that? Tom Clancy and some of the other writers, Stephen King, they make it so believable, and they turn these stories into books, and it's like, wow, even though it's fiction, it feels nonfiction because they are so believable. Well, let's give it more relevance. Let's turn the situation toward us for a moment. You are the entrepreneur. You are the business person. You are the writer. You are the plumber. You are the screenwriter. You're the actor, or you're a lay member in a church, or you're a pastor in a church, right? Or you work in a convenience store. Whatever you do, you're a school teacher. You want to be believable. One of the best ways to be believable in most cases, and I found this to be true, is to be authentic. Use your authenticity, your transparency to not use it, but allow it to speak for you. That's how you become believable, right? If you're a motivational speaker, then you have to take it up a notch. You have to tell stories or situations or tell, testimonial type messages where you're talking about your real life story. You're telling the truth, but you're putting a spin on it where it's going to be beneficial for the people that hear it if you're a motivational speaker. You want to be believable. And authenticity and showing true character makes a person who's listening want to listen to you more and give you more of their attention and believe in you more. You're more believable. I was watching a comedy the other day. It was a movie, and one of the best, comedians of the day is Cat Williams, arguably. Him, Dave Chappelle, and Chris Rock, and a few others. Kevin Hart. But in this movie, there was another young up-and-coming comedian in the film. And this comedian was really big on YouTube. You know, he had a big following online. So, and he finally met Cat Williams one day, and Cat Williams kind of embarrassed him publicly. You know, while he was up doing stand-up, Cat Williams comes up, takes the mic from him, and totally embarrasses him. But he looked at the young man. He said, listen, you know, you're fake. You can't tell nothing about your own story, so it's not authentic. So people laugh at you, but they think you're a fraud. And the young man looked at him and said, you know, I don't think I'm a fraud. But the young man who's cracking all the jokes, he was always impersonating, listen to me guys, he was always impersonating other people. He could impersonate Dave Chappelle. He could impersonate Eddie Murphy. He impersonated, you know, Cat Williams and Chris Rock and all these. He did a good job. Jay-Z and, you know, DMX, all these people. He did good impersonations, but he was impersonating someone else. And that's how he built his fame. And when Cat Williams took the mic from him, he said, listen, brother, you need to tell your own story. That's not going to cut it in this world. You can't, here it goes, guys. You cannot circumvent the system. You can't cheat the system. I always say this. It's not going to work on any level. You can cheat for a little while, but eventually it's going to catch up with you. You got to pay your dues. And so what he was saying to the young man was, yeah, go get your own content, get your own story. It's going to be more believable for people. You're telling everybody else's story. You're trying to impersonate all these other people, but that's not you. What am I saying to you guys? To be believable, become the best you that you could possibly be. And to do that, you have to focus on things that mean a lot to you, even in business. When you're talking to your clients, be authentic with them. When you're telling them, hey, please do this over here, give them instructions. Hey, say, listen, you know, this is the way I would do it. This is what has worked for me in the past. This is what I suggest you do. In any situation, be the fullness of who you are, not someone else. And that's how you make it believable. See, you can make people believe something if you're trying to scam too. You can sound very salesy, but eventually people are going to see through that. The reason I believe people follow me to this very day is I learned how to take the covers off and tell them, hey, listen, I struggled. I was homeless, failed at I don't know how many businesses, nearly 100 of them. Tried, started over and over again, and they understand, they related to the fact that I failed over and over again until I got to where I am today and still going. That's authenticity, guys, and I had to be willing to share that and take the covers off and show you the real me. Instead of some fairy tale story about a guy in this country that always had everything that handed to him. That's not me. Or how I made $1 million, you know, without any hard work, no blood, sweat, and tears. That's just not true. And that's why a lot of you still follow me today, and I appreciate you doing that. But I'm going to tell you to do the same thing, to become believable and stay that way. Tell the real you. Deal with the real you when you deal with other people. You don't have to tell them everything, but be authentic with them and transparent with them. And that's how you become more believable instead of looking like a fraud. I hope you got something out of this. This is going to be a critical part of your business. Apply what you heard, and I'll see you on the next video or at the top. Bye-bye.